I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
Mike Tyson is one of the most iconic names in boxing, the image of a ruthless, hard-punching bad boy of the 80s. Dispatching a domino run of challengers, transcended his chosen sport and pushed the Tyson brand across into popular culture. He was the embodiment of macho prize fighting. Over the years, this persona has since been replaced by a more mellow, retrospective version of the one-time baddest man on the planet. There have been so many highs and so many lows across the life and career of Iron Mike. Here, we look at the rise and fall of Mike Tyson. Welcome to a Primal Boxing presentation. This is the rise and fall of Mike Tyson. Boxing at its most primal. When Tyson knocked out Michael Spinks in just 91 seconds to become the undisputed linear heavyweight king, the world was his oyster, and a place amongst the pantheon of boxing greats had already been secured. But what could have been the start of a glorious reign of unending terror quickly developed into a career filled with moments of uncontrollable madness mixed with occasionally devastating brilliance. The destruction of Spinks was one of Tyson's highest highs. Prior to the Spinks knockout, Tyson had cleaned out Trevor Berbick in 1986 to claim the WBC heavyweight title. Aged only 20, Tyson trained with Kevin Rooney and mentored by the late great Cus D'Amato, had become the youngest heavyweight champion in history.
You know, so odd that you said it. My mentor, Cus D'Amato, his objective was to think of nothing. You're nothing, nothing's nothing but the objective, the job, and that was his psychological warfare. You know, nothing matters. You're nothing, nothing. The only thing that matters is the objective, and getting through, accomplishing that objective by going through these methods of boxing.
Do you ever stop and think about how fortunate it was you ran into that guy?
However, with great power comes great responsibility, and this fragile young man from the mean streets of Brooklyn was soon to experience the most unexpected of lows. After defeating Berbick, picking up some more titles against capable champions, and annihilating the consensus lineal heavyweight king Michael Spinks, Tyson was undeniably boxing's hottest property. A first-round knockout of Carl "The Truth" Williams in the summer of 1989 saw Tyson fever hit an all-time peak. This is why his first career loss was so unexpected. Opponent James "Buster" Douglas had already lost on 4 occasions and was a massive underdog when the pair met in Japan for all of Tyson's belts. Mike had previously knocked out Tony Tubbs in the same Tokyo Dome venue, so was no stranger to the location. That said, reports suggested he had looked sluggish in training and had been put down in sparring.
You were in Japan at the time. Were you involved in parties? And I heard you weren't focused necessarily.
Well, I'm in the hotel. They won't let me out the hotel. They just let me go to training and come back like I'm some Neanderthal and I can't associate with people, so I had to hit all the mates. Hitting means having sex with the mates.
I know what you mean.
Buoyed on by the death of his mother just weeks before the fight, huge betting underdog Douglas would not be denied on the night. Dropped in the 8th round by an uppercut.
I actually knocked Buster Douglas out in the 8th round. It was a 13-second count. You see for yourself. Check it out. Oh, 1, 2, 3. See the guy in the white gloves? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Unfucking lucky number.
Douglas rallied back to stop Tyson in the 10th round and pull off one of the biggest sporting shocks of all time.
5, 6, 7, 8,
Just like
9,
real quick.
10. Yeah, that guy's way quicker. Is that the same guy?
Yeah, same round.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Dude, you suck at counting.
For all the undoubted highs in the career of Mike Tyson, there have also been a litany of crimes of every level of severity attached to the heavyweight superstar. The most prominent being a 10-year prison sentence for the rape of Desiree Washington, an 18-year-old model and Miss Rhode Island.
I was young, you know what I mean? I wanted to have fun, I enjoyed having fun, and maybe I took it further, whatever.
The incident occurred in 1991 when Tyson was still at the peak of his powers despite having suffered an upset loss. He served a portion of his sentence and resumed his career in 1995. Despite this horrific incident, the high points were not beyond Tyson, as his popularity and a widespread enthusiasm to witness the rebuilding process resulted in huge pay-per-view numbers upon Tyson's ring return. Opponent McNeely was introduced as a lamb to the slaughter. Billed as "He's Back," over 1.5 million Americans directly parted with their money across Showtime and King Vision. Erratic opponent McNeely was no match for the returning star and failed to make it out of the first round. In the lead-up to his highly anticipated 2002 clash with Lennox Lewis, Tyson was embroiled in yet another controversy when a brutal melee at the press conference ended in the American biting his British rival on the leg. Remarkably, this was not the most high-profile incident involving Tyson's teeth. In 1997, cutting an increasingly frustrated figure in the ring, Tyson lost his cool and bit off opponent Evander Holyfield's ear. Holyfield was a rough and rugged warrior who often entered clinches with his head. Frustrated by the constant infringements, Tyson took matters into his own hands and took a chunk out of Evander's ear. This is undoubtedly his most infamous ring crime. Other notable discretions in Tyson's life include in 1988, when the champion's then-wife Robin Givens and her family publicly accused Mike of domestic violence.
You and your mother around in Russia, that Mike has a very volatile temper. True? Extremely volatile temper.
That Mike Tyson wrote about this in his book.
Oh, wow.
I
didn't read his book.
That he caught you and Brad Pitt pulling up in the driveway of the house.
Brad Pitt is the international symbol for that.
Yeah. No, I gotta think. Brad Pitt sees you. He's gotta be scared because she's pulling up with your ex-wife at her house, and you're sitting there in a car.
Oh, pulling up in the driveway. Yes. That part's true. I thought he said he caught us in bed.
Oh, did he also say he caught you in bed?
No, yes. I mean, because I didn't read the book.
Okay.
But I was told that he says he caught us in bed, which never happened.
Which never happened.
Oh, never, ever, ever.
Wow.
I was just emotionally comatose because I went from a hard stallion to a wet noodle, and it just totally overwhelmed me. I had no energy to fight or anything.
In 1999, Tyson struggled with rugged South African Frans Bother through the initial stages of the contest. Again, the frustrated fan's favorite resorted to illegal moves to vent his anger when he tried to twist and break Bother's arm in a clinch.
Your back is broken.
What, a vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
This contest highlighted the best and worst of Mike, who went from trying to snap Bother's arm to knocking him out with a short, sharp right hand. And yet, the public still flocked to see Tyson in action. Whether at speaking gigs, signing tours, or live appearances, Tyson's magnetic appeal remained strong. On his 2 back-to-back visits to the UK, Tyson was met with anger, disdain, and protest in some quarters, and with a deference and intrigue by those eager to witness what this dangerous maverick would do next. He battered both Julius Francis and Lou Savarese on those separate occasions.
I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
Are you saying now, Mike?
The latter bout most remembered for the New Yorker's insistence on chasing Savarese across the ring and knocking the referee over in an attempt to reach his stricken foe. The unpredictability of this complex character has remained throughout the highs and the lows. Lurking around every corner in Mike Tyson's boxing career and life, there has been controversy or ignominy. At times, he has been a cold-blooded destroyer inside the ropes. On other occasions, he has looked meek and feeble, a crumpled figure of pity, folding under the huge pressure of not only his opponent's fists, but also the weight of public scrutiny. This is the never-ceasing fascination that has followed the rise and fall of Mike Tyson. Boxing at its most primal. Don't forget that vital combination of like, subscribe, and ring the bell.